Walk with me, hens. Today we're going to be taking a little trip down memory lane. It's the 26th of November 2019. Rainy day. Nothing ordinary happening in Middlesbrough apart from my graduation that day. So you wake up in the morning, get ready for graduation, graduate with a master's degree. Thank you. Distinction level, actually. I don't like to mention it too much. Get rained on all day and you come back and you know that you have to record a video. So you sit in your rained on hair and makeup, shining like the top of the Chrysler building. And that video where you look like shit, and the video was just, yeah, I'll enjoy doing this, head empty, editing strong. And that video actually went on to be my most popular video on my channel.
It's an honor to be in this group.
Because that's the way the cookie crumbles. I didn't even get to install the pack, but it was a wild ride. Yeah, most popular video on my channel. And the thing with that video is that, like I said, it is called installing a banned expansion pack for The Sims. I didn't clickbait yous, babes. I tried to install, I did install it, couldn't get it to work after that. That video was about just a little illegal thing in the franchise. I did phrase that video banned. Genuinely did think it was banned because my mum told me so, and I trust my mum. Wasn't necessarily banned, was illegal. Also, the latest Lunar Isle collection is out and it is all featured around fan fiction. That's right, it is all featured around dead gear wizards from the 70s, and you can go to lunarisle.co.uk for the collection and use code first order for 15% off your first order and international shipping. So today we are going to be talking about That's Life 1 and 2. You might be thinking, what even is That's Life? And the title of the game is actually quite funny. That's Life is actually an unofficial, unlicensed expansion pack for the first installment of the Sims franchise. Yes, the OG The Sims 2000 franchise. And yes, unofficial. It's got no ties to Maxis or the developers of the original Sims. Will Wright said that is Will wrong. Actually, besties, let's not do that. The box art describes itself as a shopping add-on for use with the Sims game, but was not released by Maxis. Like I said, Will wrong, and was instead created and released in 2001 by X Media Publishing, a German studio. And a sequel to That's Life was released a year later in 2002. The type of content that it is referred to as shovelware, and shovelware is a derogatory term, not nice. It's a bad term. It's not a good thing. Used for software that is either being quickly developed without regard to quality or function and features, or software that has been forced on customers, such as those that are preloaded on laptops or smartphones by their respective carriers. Other examples of shovelware, Microsoft Edge, in my humble opinion. I hate to say that, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who that man is. So what actually makes That's Life shovelware? It was likely quickly developed for the sole purpose of making a profit. The Sims 1 was released in the year 2000. That's Life was released in 2001. And then again was quickly followed by That's Life in 2002. And realistically, a game, even an add-on game, should take longer than that to develop to be good. And not to mention the fact that when The Sims was released, the actual Sims, Will Wright Sims, because that's a Will Wright, was released, it was actually the best-selling game of all time. And you know what? She was a visionary. Vision is scary. The Sims, what? She was good. She did good. If you yell at me, I'm going to cry. It is looking a little bit like capitalistic greed, which, you know what, is not something that we're unaware of. We you know, do you know that we are all suffering under a capitalist regime at the minute, actually. X Media Publishing took a really successful franchise and thought, oh, how could I make this about me, basically, and release 2 expansion packs. And if you're thinking, well, that's what modders do. Modders add on to the game, and sometimes they have Patreons and stuff like that. No. Completely not the same thing, which we'll get to a little bit later. Because actually, the content that was included in That's Life 1 and 2 was stolen.
Did you see what I did there?
It's a scam.
It came as a database for installing custom content and mods. So basically, Mod Manager. There's the Care Bear. All you have to do is just sit and click on each and every single one. Well, this is going to be fun. I mean, there is a lot here, but I can't give the credit to That's Life. It's to the creator. I have a subscription to the Sims resource. Thankfully, I subscribed to it when the payment was like £3 a month, and that now, honestly, that is capitalistic greed. But they have a Mod Manager that I actually find really useful. So I download mods and it just installs them for me. So all I have to do is click download, and it's kind of that thing, but the difference is the Sims resource, people upload their own content onto Sims resource, and then the Sims resource installs it with their own download manager. So you know exactly where your stuff's coming from. And you know what? The similarity between the Sims resource and That's Life 1 and 2 is the fact that the Sims resource content was actually on That's Life 1 and 2, as well as sites like 7 Deadly Sims, Sim Freaks, and more. So she's stolen, just like Bella Goth stole my heart. And some of the modern CC creators did receive credit in the game, but presumably none received payment for their free content being distributed in stores. And credit doesn't pay bills. And these were in stores as well. I'm pretty sure my mum picked my copy up from Morrison's. This wasn't just an underground thing that was slightly like, it's a bit not right. Basically, it wasn't the type of thing where you go to a car boot sale and a man round the corner in a car is selling DVDs illegally. It wasn't that kind of thing. Like, this was a professional operation, right? They're being sold and marketed in stores. This isn't praise, so don't think that this is praise in any way, shape or form. Absolutely no praise is coming out my mouth. But That's Life 2 did slightly improve in quite an unhinged way. So I've shown you some of my video from the first one of installing the illegal expansion pack, and you can kind of see how it operates and how it works. And That's Life 2 kind of changed this around a little bit, and it actually came with a 3D store that came with the pack, and you could explore it from a first-person perspective. And this first-person perspective didn't become available in the franchise until The Sims 4. But unfortunately, the store itself was buggy and it could crash over anything. LGR, whose content I absolutely love, they are one of my YouTube heroes. I adore their content. They do have a video covering That's Life 2. Unfortunately, I also own That's Life 2, but I could not get it to work. There was a very, 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 very overwhelming intro screen, and I thought, wow, this is going to be a wild ride. And you know what? It was a wild ride, but not necessarily in the way I expected. Because it just didn't work. And I don't mean that, oh, you know what, I tried this content from the year 2000 and it just didn't work. Why not? No, besties, I went the fucking mile, right? I ran, I did my waiting, 12 years of it. I tried other things. I tried to run in compatibility mode. I ended up installing an emulator. If you don't know what an emulator is, it emulates another system. So you can get like GameCube emulators, you can get PSP emulators. I installed an emulator of Windows XP. I had a little Windows XP running in my computer, and I still could not get this fucking thing to work. I put my entire SimUssy into that and it still didn't work. So I'm going to have to include LGR's footage, but it's not because I'm lazy. I fucking tried. You're just going to have to, please. Well, I have footage that I tried anyway. Enjoy that one. So you could access That's Life by buying it in store, but how did people actually feel about this? Because I'm going to be honest to you, bestie, as a child, I was overjoyed with this. I was like, oh my God, it's such free content, because as a child, I did not understand the legality of things, right? I just knew that I had one thing in life and it was The Sims. I was autistic. I am autistic. Vaccine kicks in. That's a joke. So I thought that this was absolutely groundbreaking. I thought, wow, Maxis really know what they're doing. Thank you, Maxis, for this amazing pack. And, you know, they must have made quite a bit. But the community that were older than me and could actually voice their opinions weren't too happy with it. And there were actually petitions created to remove That's Life from stores. So clearly the overall community didn't warm to it, at least the community that had regular access to the internet, because like I said, not everybody did then. It was a different time. We do still have the original forum with the petition, but the petition page itself is no longer available. Down with The Sims That's Life. Sims has said, The Sims That's Life is an unofficial expansion for the best-selling game of 2000 and 2001, The Sims. It contains stolen material from other fan sites, such as fan-made objects, skins, wallpaper, floor tiles and roofs, which were then taken without the original maker's permission and was made into That's Life. Fan sites that are affected are 7 Deadly Sins, The Sims Resource, Sims Freaks, The Well-Dressed Sim, and a variety of other sites. That's Life is very common in Europe and some stores sell it. I think it was a European thing. I am European. If you find it in a store or shop, inform the manager that it contains stolen material and to remove it at once. If you find it on an online store, inform the staff too. The petition is here. Please sign it. We need to get this thing off the shelves. Faye Luna said, who's the manufacturer that's making and disputing the CDs? I've never heard of this. I guess it's just in Europe. I'll have to sign the petition. And then they followed up with, okay, I signed it. I'm going to email this to some of my friends and see if they can sign it too. Even though some of them don't play The Sims, I know they will care about the copyright infringement and stealing. And then interestingly, Tumpkin said, oops, I bought it a while back before I had internet at home. I didn't realise the contents were stolen. To be fair, it's not very good. Don't get me wrong, the items and skins are great, but the items manager isn't very good at all and only works for the items on the disc. Sim Explorer is much better and legit. Don't buy it, it's a rip-off and you can get everything via the web anyway. In hindsight, I think the money would have been better spent donating to the sites directly. That's exactly the thing that I want you to grasp with this. This wasn't a time when people were in cahoots with each other on the internet, really. It was mainly just in forums. Like that person said, I'm going to email this to some of my friends. You couldn't just post at everyone on Discord or start a Twitter thread about it and have it go viral. This was very much a covert operation. Everything was pretty much a covert operation at that time of the internet, especially because it seemed to just be a European thing. Because a lot of American people that I know have never heard of this, but I have, because I'm European. I don't know my fruits. And like I said, 2001, most people with internet access still only had dial-up. And those with in-home computers, it was a family computer. No one was scrolling Twitter for immediate gaming news. And even those that spent a lot of time on Sims fan sites would have had to specifically be looking for news on That's Life to find out about it. And that was my exact situation. Our computer didn't have internet at the time. I used to click the internet and think, I know something they don't. And then I'd be met with like 404, no connection. If you're just strolling through Morrison's and go to the gaming section and That's Life is being sold and you're an avid Sims player, you're kind of going to trust that, stolen goods aren't being sold to you, especially because it says Sims right under the title on the cover. Like, I can't imagine anyone would have thought twice about purchasing it. And my mum certainly didn't. And I'll tell you what, I did enjoy That's Life as a kid, which is bad. That was stolen. I had illegal property. And interestingly enough, this is actually still sold on Amazon and it has 3.4 stars out of 5 with 10 ratings. And the ratings are actually from 2003. And one of them says, how can they even release this? To anyone thinking of buying this game, don't. I received it as a birthday present, which I had asked for as I am a great fan of The Sims and have all other expansions. From the moment I put it in the drive, it was clear to see it was very unprofessional. The graphics were terrible to start. I was disappointed before it had even installed. On starting up, there were no instructions whatsoever and were none in the cover either. After working out how to use the controls, I wandered around this room trying to work out where to go and why the controls kept jamming. I genuinely believe that it's false advertising to use the word stroll on the back of the game cartridge. Eventually, I discovered that if you're lucky, at a certain angle, you can click on a button in a lift to take you to a different floor. First, I tried the clothes department. I was faced with a row of mannequins in strange and dull outfits, once again only clickable on occasionally. When I eventually did, there were several options such as change top, which were difficult to decipher and seemed to do absolutely nothing. Every now and again, a sim would walk past like a zombie. Badly animated, so it seemed they were moonwalking, but moving slowly forwards at the same time. I then visited the furniture department. The walls were laden with pictures that had obviously been cut out of an IKEA catalogue. I was surprised to see my Billy bookcase decorating this add-on pack. It took me a while to work out how to buy things. You have to go to the sales assistant where you see a small section of badly transmogrified furniture, nothing remotely like what you can see in the showroom, few with descriptions or even prices. The plant department was even worse. An array of 2D photographs of flowers and pot plants. No way of buying them or even any resemblance to a shopping mall. I didn't bother looking on any of the floors as it took about 10 minutes to get them, struggling with the controls and potluck button pressing. As for creating outfits, there was no indication of how to do it or what any of the controls meant. I'm shocked that this game was allowed to be published with that number of bugs, general pointlessness, and nothing even resembling an instructions manual. If you put a monkey in a moving cable car with nothing but an unwired computer containing software writing program, I'm sure he could do better than the unexcusable waste of pixels that is That's Life too. So fucking true, bestie. However, an Amazon customer in 2003 left a 5-star review. Sim shopping. Like shopping, only you don't have to pay. Excellent add-on. Perfect for any budding Sims expert or even just a shopping freak with just The Sims. Visit your local mall, buy clothes or purchase furniture if you prefer a different colour scheme which you've worked hard to earn. It combines all of the perfect elements of The Sims with the elements of games like Mall Tycoon. Take my advice. Buy this game and shop until you drop. Sounds fake. I can't find anything online about why X Media published an end, but they do have some games listed between 1997 and 2002, so I don't know why it ended, but the packs were definitely illegal and I am glad. But that's life. So That's Life is a strange little slice of the Sims franchise history, unofficial or otherwise, and information on the packs themselves isn't overflowing, unlike other events that happened later in the franchise like the Haunted Baby Doll. If anything, their creation could be a reminder to check where you get your extra game content from, and just because creators upload the work for free doesn't mean that you can steal them and then profit off it. So it was basically a cash grab, which we are quite acquainted with that now, aren't we? But yeah, it's very bizarre to see how all of this went down, especially in a time when the internet was still quite in its infancy and this was being shipped out on actual discs. I think that it would operate differently now in the UK. I think this would maybe operate like through Patreon or something, because people do this. People do share their CC files and stuff, and that's ethically wrong, but people aren't selling their CC folders to big corporations to then sell in their stores for families to buy, not knowing that they're buying something illegal. So what a wild ride, huh? What a wild ride. Illegal. Emotional damage. Literally criminal damage, actually. So that's life. I have experience with this. Sometimes, I like to keep it under wraps that I'm a Sims player since the year 2000, but I'm really glad I am, because I have so much knowledge about this shit. And I'm so glad that I can actually put it to you somewhere. Thank you all very, very much for watching this. This is part of my entire history of where I basically go in depth in the Sims history. It can either be Sims or it can be things like this. And the next one, which is going to be a fucker, I know it's going to be a fucker, is going to be the Sims iceberg. I'm expecting it to be a long one, so it might be a while until the next entire history of is out. But I love you all. Keep on keeping on. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, bitch. Don't buy illegal things.